Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to run through a 14-team deep league mock draft for the 2021 fantasy football season. We want to help you win your draft to win your league. Make sure you hang around though the whole mock draft to get a special code for 50% off of the 2021 Victory Draft Kit. Let's start this fantasy football podcast right meow. Welcome back, guys. How you doing? That's right. This is the Fantasy Football Upside. Kyle here. Justin's not with me today, but we are going to be going through a 14-team standard scoring mock draft to help some of you who are in those deeper leagues figure out what you got to do. That's right. It is tough in those leagues. It gets thin real quick, right? In addition to that, make sure you hang around for the whole mock draft. At various points, I'm going to give you words that you're going to need to use to string together, and you're going to be able to have then a coupon discount code, actually, a phrase that's going to unlock 50% off of the Victory Draft Kit. It's a limited number special coupon, so it will be $14.99 for you, and the first 25 people who enter the code in the correct order are going to be able to get that discount. You'll be able to head over to ffbupside.com, and at the top there's a link to the fantasy football draft kit this year, the Victory Draft Kit, actually. All right, so make sure that you pay attention. I'll drop a word here and there, and you string those words together for your phrase, all right? Let's go ahead and check out what we got going on the mock itself. All right, as you can see, we are looking at a 14-team draft, standard scoring, snake draft. We are already randomized for the 10th position. I think that's a good one to kind of figure out. It's back of the draft there, but it's not terrible. We're looking at a 1 QB, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex. That's wide receiver, running back, tight end, flex, no super flex, and then a defense and a kicker. All right, let's get this thing rolling here and see what we can do. All right. There we go. All right, 60 seconds on the clock, and it should start clicking here soon for us. I'm not sure exactly what we can expect here. It looks like Nick Chubb fell down the board to us here. There's also Zeke right now. That's not terrible. I think, though, that I prefer probably Nick Chubb in this spot. I think that the upside with him is a lot greater than with Zeke right now. I think that Zeke, although I think that the Cowboys are going to be pretty solid, I think his upside is just limited right now. I for some reason feel like Nick Chubb is just the better option there. I've always kind of been down on Zeke since about 2 years ago. It just doesn't seem to click anymore. He does put up some solid games, but he's just not going to be in that upper echelon in my mind. So I'm going to go with Nick Chubb here, keep us rolling along. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and give you the first word of the discount phrase for the Victory Draft Kit. Make sure you're listening to the whole thing. The first word is win. That's right, win. W-I-N, win. All right. Okay, moving on. We've got second pick. Here we go. Second round. DeAndre Hopkins is a nice option. DK Metcalf. I'm kind of higher on him than Hopkins, actually. I do like A.J. Brown a lot, and George Kittle's hanging out down there. Let's see here. Let's see what's come off the board on tight end. So Kittle and Waller are both available there, and there's quite a few guys there. I think that you got to wait on tight end. The value is just, it's a ton of value available forever. If we're going to go running back here, it's not a terrible option. We have Eckler and Dobbins available. I like both of them. I see Montgomery hiding out down there, and there's a few other guys that it's a risk, but maybe one of the two of them are going to sneak back to us. I think we go wide receiver here and establish the top end of our strong positions there. And let's grab DK Metcalf. I prefer him, like I said, over DeAndre Hopkins. I think he is probably going to be schedule agnostic in some respect. So even though he's got a tough schedule this year, I think he's still going to be able to destroy with that. So that's where I'm at. All right, guys, round 3, here we go. Wide receivers still got a lot of value. So maybe we should have gone running back. You live, you learn. There's a couple guys here. Oh, it's throwing up Kareem Hunt as an option on running back. I'm not a big fan of grabbing your own handcuff. I think that's a mistake most often. We've also already got DK Metcalf on our team, so Chris Carson's probably a risk there as far as having, doubling down on the same team. But it's not a terrible idea. It's pushing wide receiver on us, and we could go the running back light route. But I think that what we do here actually is go with either Mike Davis or Damian Harris. I think that Atlanta, I don't know what that offense is going to be this year. Not that I know exactly what New England's going to be, but I have to believe that Damian Harris is the true number one running back there. And so that's where I'm going to go. It might be a tad bit of a reach at this point, but in a 14-team league, second round or third round, it's kind of where you want to go, I think. All right, wide receiver still has a heck of a lot of value, guys, but running back's still there. Mike Davis is still hanging out. Let's see what's going on in QB. Top three are already off the board. That's not surprising, but we like to sit on the QB, wait until the end there. All right, so let's see here. I think that we go with the running back, actually. I think there is a lot of value at wide receiver still, and I see a couple guys at running back as being a little bit more valuable than the wide receivers. The wide receiver depth is still heavy here. I think we can pass on it, and I don't mind getting my second guy a little further down the board, whereas running back, I feel like it's starting to thin out a little bit. You're getting into the questionable territory where you don't know what you're going to be getting. And we talked about it. I liked Mike Davis. I was between him and the last pick, and so I'm going to go ahead and grab him. All right. Here we go, heading into pick 5, round 5. Guys that I was hoping would be here are still here. We've got Deontay Johnson, who I like a lot. I'm a little questionable on the Steelers this year because I think that their offensive line might be suspect. You've got Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool. I don't really know who you go with between those two. I think they're both really solid picks. I like Deontay Johnson. A lot of people complain about the drops that he had last year, and I don't think that that's something really truly to be completely worried about. But gosh, he has kind of been banged up a little bit. I do like Claypool a lot too. Claypool had a heck of a year as a rookie, right? But we're gonna go with Deontay Johnson. I just have the faith that him and Roethlisberger will have a little bit more chemistry this year. So that's where I'm going. Okay, we are heading into round 6. We could start considering tight end here. We can look at it and see what that looks like for us. Yeah, I think that if somebody like Waller or Andrews or a few other guys had snuck down the board here, we'd be considering it a little bit more. I like Logan Thomas a lot. I think that he's going to be still hanging around in a round or two. Blake Jarwin's down there, and he's pretty good too. Cole Kmet, there's a hidden value there. I think that his ADP is going to be a lot higher later on, or a lot better later on. So I think that you could probably pass on him right now if you're drafting around now. But as we get closer to official draft season, I think that his draft position is going to shoot up. Running back, let's see what we've got on our roster actually sitting right now. We've got 2 running backs, 3 running backs, 2 wide receivers. I think we're going to lean towards wide receiver. Travis Etienne's not a bad idea. He's a pass catching back though, so I don't know that I want to go there exactly. Robbie Anderson could have just a heck of a year. I like that offense better than I like San Francisco's, so that's where I'm going. It's Carolina. I think Sam Darnold could figure it out here, and if he does, I see him being a big recipient of that value. All right, they are pushing tight end and QB at us hard, aren't they? They're trying to make us pick, trying to make us do it. All right, let's check out the roster. Just get a quick rundown here. We've got Nick Chubb, Damian Harris, and Mike Davis. And then at wide receiver, we got DK Metcalf, Deontay Johnson, and Robbie Anderson. I think we've got a pretty good amount of depth and solid players right now, but we still want to grab a few more depth there. I think Washington's going to be really good this year, actually, guys. Fitzpatrick just throws the lights out. And I think that we're looking at an offense where the wide receivers could be surprise just rocket ships. Between McLaurin and Curtis Samuel, I think that they could be phenomenal. I think you've got some great value hiding down here, too, at wide receiver. Mike Williams, Michael Gallup, Devontae Parker, I'm a little bit more questionable on, but I actually think I'm gonna go here and grab Curtis Samuel. I got a couple seconds more to check out the running back situation. Could go get AJ Dillon. I think that he's going to be, probably a running back 3 most of the time, maybe running back 4 most of the time this year. But you do have a little bit of upside with him of RB2 days. If Aaron Jones goes down, you've got an RB1 on your team then. And he's still there for us, so we can go ahead and grab him. But let's check out tight end and QB before we officially get moving. Logan Thomas is right there. now we're in that questionable spot, right? We're at the 8th round. We've got 7 guys on our team. We could go get a depth pick here, or we could run out there and grab that tight end that we like. Now, we did just take Curtis Samuel, so going and grabbing Logan Thomas is a bit of a concern. We could hold off and take Blake Jarwin later on as just a roll of the dice, but I really think Logan Thomas is going to be phenomenal this year. He's got really no competition other than the wide receiver set, and the guy just gets it done. He's a beast. I think he was tight end 3 from week 6 on last year. So if we're going to go with a tight end, that's who I think want to go and grab. And I think that if we look at the wide receivers, I don't see anybody exactly that I would go grab right now ahead of him. Really, for me, it's the running back, and that's A.J. Dillon or the tight end, and I think I'm going tight end, round 8. All right, guys, it's time for word number 2 for the coupon, the discount on the Victory Draft Kit. Remember, you got to string them all together. You got to have all the words, so make sure you've been listening to the whole episode. The second word is your. All right, Y-O-U-R, your. All right, we are in round 9. Here we go. What are we going to do here? All right, running back. I couldn't believe for a second that we would end up with what we were hoping for there, which would be if A.J. Dillon slipped down the board. He did not. We got Logan Thomas last round, and that's perfectly fine. Let's check out QB and see what's happening here. It's not gonna grade this draft well. I'll tell you that. It's not gonna grade this draft well because they lean heavy on their QB values. And as far as I'm concerned, there's really just a couple guys left at this point that I would really grab here, and that's Joe Burrow, Matt Ryan, maybe Kirk Cousins. He was quietly solid last year, but mostly quiet. I wouldn't go down and grab any of these other guys though. So I think that in round 9, in a 14-team league, we need to be thinking about scarcity of position. And so I'm definitely going to go with Joe Burrow here. I think he's going to have a pretty good year. I would like to have had the opportunity to stack a guy with another wide receiver or running back or something like that and see what we can do. But, in a 14-team league, the value just kind of dries up really fast. Let's check out that roster again really quickly here. We've got Joe Burrow at QB, Nick Chubb running back, Damian Harris as well. We've got Mike Davis sitting in our flex spot. And then at wide receiver, we have DK Metcalf, Deontay Johnson, Robbie Anderson. On our bench, we have Curtis Samuel. And then we have a tight end. We have Logan Thomas. So the majority of the rest of the time, we are going to be spending our efforts on wide receiver and running back. We might consider grabbing a second tight end simply because depth is a little more critical coming out of the draft in a 14-team league. You could also interchange that a little bit with QB, but I really wouldn't devote more than 3 slots to those 2 positions. And so I would say grab 1 QB and 2 tight ends, or 1 tight end and 2 QBs. All right, so we're on the clock here to move quick. We've got running backs okay. Nyheim Hines is an all right option there. I think Mecole Hardman is somebody you can take a shot at here and hope for something good. But I'm going to go here and grab, that's where I'm going to go. It's Mecole Hardman. The other options are really good there as well, but I think that they were a little bit early to be drafted at that spot. All right, here we are, round 11. Looking at wide receiver, we got Russell Gage as an option there. Allen Lazard is not a bad option either. Traquan Smith is a guy who's just never shown up, right? Tevin Coleman could be okay there for the Jets. The Jets just have so many options right now. You've got Salvon Ahmed. He's a bit of a flyer. You're hoping, I think, that he either carves out some space behind Myles Gaskin or that Gaskin just doesn't play the whole season. So that could be worth the pickup. That might be where we go. Let's see what happened at tight end. I think we'll push a little further and see what we can maybe snag if we go double up on tight end. QB, Matt Ryan's hanging around, still a little early. We could stack Ryan Fitzpatrick maybe late if our tight ends get gobbled up underneath us on accident somehow, or somebody goes and grabs him before we get a chance. So I think we're actually going to go here and grab Salvon Ahmed. It's not a great depth pick for us because it's a little bit, we're getting thin at that position. So unfortunately, our roster, I think while we've got a lot of value sitting there, we're thinner at the running back position. We've got 5 wide receivers. And now let's think about it. If we're going to try to have a balanced draft for us in a 12-team standard scoring league would be 6 wide receivers and 6 running backs. If we're going to go and grab an extra tight end or an extra QB here, we need to figure out which direction we're going to go. Are we just going to have these 5 wide receivers and we're going to try to grab some more depth at running back? I think that's probably what we do here, because we're a little bit thinner at the running back position right now, right? I feel a little bit less secure there. So I think what we have to do is consider some guys who are further down the board who might be a little bit more risky, but the upside for them is that if they do get a consistent amount of playing time, they could blow up for you. I'm just not liking a lot of what I'm seeing here. That's the problem. Yeah, it's not the greatest right now. So we can look back here at wide receiver. Wide receiver it's got some good value there, but yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I like Gage. Let's go get Russell Gage. And so we're going to end up with 5 running backs, and then we'll go grab an extra tight end here, I think. Right now, Jarwin's still hanging out there. Even in a 14-team league, I think he should have already been off the board by now. He is not. So we're going to go running back, and then we'll go tight end. And if the tight end that we like there is gone, then we'll consider going over and picking up a QB, picking up maybe Ryan Fitzpatrick. That way we have a little bit of a stack, especially because we have Logan Thomas and we also have Curtis Samuel. So that would actually be a really good opportunity there for us, because you can end up getting a lot of value out of that. But we're going to go with running back here. Josh Kelly's not a bad grab. It's a little bit early for him. There's Justin Jackson. That's probably also really early, but not as early. The Chargers are a little tough to figure out exactly. Drenton Evans is kind of not really gone the direction we would hope he would go. Matt Breida is also an option. I want to stay away from Buffalo's backfield as best I can, I think. So I'm going to go with Josh Kelly here, and we'll call it. That'll be okay. Their strength of schedule is not that bad, so it's a good chance that if he does see regular playing time, that it benefits you. Let's just take a gander at what's sitting on the draft board here at this point, so that you guys have an idea of what is available around this time. So there's some decent wide receiver long shots there, guys who could be wide receiver 2s on their team that would perform every once in a while as a wide receiver 2 or 3 for you. Running back is really picked over. QB, we've got Ryan Fitzpatrick hanging out at the top there. And Jarwin's still available. So it comes down to, for us, do we double up and grab Blake Jarwin, stack him with Logan Thomas as 2 tight ends, or do we go and grab the actual, stack of Ryan Fitzpatrick along with Logan Thomas and Curtis Samuel? And I think I lean actually towards the tight end, simply because the turnover of the position of tight end is a lot greater. And so you are more likely to experience an injury that opens a hole in your roster at the tight end position, especially more so than QB. QB is so protected. So we're going to go with Blake Jarwin, and we're going to call it there. And then we're going to go grab defense and kicker. You might be asking, well, why are you still drafting defense and kicker at this? A lot of leagues don't do that. Why do we care? Because it actually affects the way that the mocks will draft. It affects some other people. If you don't have defenses in your league or kickers in your league, then you don't get the opportunity to have that one numbskull in your league who still drafts a defense in the 8th round, right? Or the kicker in the 12th round. Or if you're like Justin and I, we're going to do defense kicker challenge. We're going to draft them in the 1st and 2nd round just to see what happens. So the defense has really been picked over, but the Dolphins are still hanging out there. The Saints are still hanging out there. That's not terrible. Defenses can change over a whole lot. I think actually the Packers are going to be pretty decent. That's not me talking as a fan, but we're going to go and grab a kicker because there's actually a lot of value at the defense right there. And defense is a little more of a crapshoot. I do like Butker. I like Koo. And so we'll go with, we're going to go with Koo. The reason we're going to do that is he kicks indoors. And in fact, he was really, really good last year. Rodrigo Blankenship's another guy to consider. And Jason Sanders is actually a guy to consider there. He was quietly one of the best in the league, actually. All right, as far as defenses go, we got one of the better ones from last year, and I don't really understand why it's still sitting there. It must be, the perceived strength of schedule is really not that great. And so we're just going to go with Miami and call it a day. Like I said, it's not going to grade us very good here because we waited on QB as long as we did and ended up with something that they probably don't think is that great. So just to run down for anybody who might only be listening on the podcast, we've got Joe Burrow, Nick Chubb, Damian Harris, DK Metcalf, Deontay Johnson, Robbie Anderson, Logan Thomas, Mike Davis, and the Dolphins at defense, and Younghoe Koo at our kicker. On our bench, we have Curtis Samuel, Mecole Hardman, Russell Gage, and then we also have Salvon Ahmed, Josh Kelly, and Blake Jarwin. All right, guys. So let's talk about that the draft kit discount, the last word on the phrase that you need. And remember, you have to have the whole phrase for it to work. And if you listen back to this whole episode, you will catch all of the words in the order that you need them. And the last word is draft. That's D-R-A-F-T, not D-R-A-U-G-H-T. This is not a beer. This is a fantasy football league. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I hope that you're able to go and grab one of those draft kits. Like I said, they're limited. They're going to be $14.99, and you're going to be able to get one of them. There's only 25 at this price, so make sure you get there fast. All right, guys, thanks for hanging around. I'll talk to you later. Bye.